So we are now recording, but I'm going to turn the transcripts off because it's distracting. And I'm going to share my screen. Oops. So can you guys see my cursor moving around?
We don't have your screen shut up here, no. There you go.
You don't? Okay, now maybe it's a little delayed.
It could be.
Okay, so I'm logged into WebEOC as Snowco Stanwood. And yeah, I know you guys all have individual accounts now. And when you log in, it will have you change your password because you guys will be managing your own passwords. Are you able to let people in? Because when I'm sharing my screen, I can't let people in.
Everybody has a laptop in front of them to log in. There's no laptop over here, someone wants to log in.
Looks like there's somebody waiting in the lobby. Let me see if I can let them in.
I don't think we need to be on the Teams meeting. We need to log into the.
Yeah, just log into the WebEOC.
She sent us that link.
And then I'm going to have everybody get into this 22-T road trip incident.
She's going to start going through all the different ways to get into the exact incident that we're under. Are you able to log in?
I don't see the invite to she sent us.
You don't need to. Yeah, just go straight into logging into WebEOC.
On 11-1. Yeah, she sent me on 11-1 from that.
You just want to go to the internet, like Chrome or whatever you use.
Yeah, there should be a link to WebEOC in the instructions that I gave to you guys.
Okay.
And if you take that and drag it off to your desktop, then you'll have a shortcut. Well, there's still says that somebody's waiting in the lobby.
Don't worry about that.
I don't see anybody in
here. It's in this room.
Everybody's there?
Okay.
Okay, then I'm going to ignore that then.
Right there. Yeah, just ignore the person waiting in the lobby.
Okay.
So that's what you want, and then just, yeah, I guess description.
So I'll wait till you guys get logged in. And, but you want to go into this training incident. If you've already gotten in, you can change it by clicking here and then hold down the control key and hit an F for find, and a box will open up and you can start typing that training incident. So if you type 22-T and then space R, it will come up. Let me know when you guys are all in.
Everybody's in. You're right, right. Did let you log in, David?
The hardest part is logging in. Is everybody in?
Snowco Stanwood is the event?
What's that?
Snowco Stanwood is the event?
Yeah, it's Snowco. Stanwood is the position. The incident is 22-T road trip. But if you hold down if you click on the incident and then hold down the control key and hit an F for find, a box will open up and you can start typing the incident number, which is 22-T space R for road trip, and it will come up.
If you go to your steady state operation.
That's where you're at. The road trip.
You go to that steady state operations tab and go to road trip. Should drop down. I got that.
Yeah, that steady SEOC or steady operations, that is the default incident. And we're now no longer activated for COVID. We were activated for that well over 2 years.
Sure.
Are you there?
I'll wait till you guys all get in.
My name wasn't on that list, if you noticed.
What list?
And he said that we had to do it with emergency
Well,
one.
Shermack hasn't yet, so just don't worry about it.
I did it, Kevin.
Just do like emergency. Eight characters, one good, just put like emergency 2. Okay. We try to beat the-
Let me put the location. Take it out of the T, off the T.
We'll go to WebEOC. Is that right? Is that right?
Take it.
All right, as soon as you can just go down. Keep scrolling down.
Success.
Success?
If you need to figure it
There
out.
you go, and you're in a road trip, okay, so you're good?
Okay.
All right.
Where did you sign in under? John?
No, traditional. That's the
Is everybody in?
Hang on a second.
Okay.
Everybody but Catholic.
See, I think the whole city's burning down by the time we get lucky. What is the event?
22T road trip.
Yeah. That's what we said.
Yeah, but no, what's the, do we know what the event is? We don't know yet.
Yeah. That's what activates.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Between the two of us.
And everybody else is in. Okay, one more to log in. Deb,
What's that?
one more logging in right now.
Okay. We'll be fine.
Everybody's in road trip.
Excellent. Okay, so so I'm in as Snowco-Stanwood, and you guys should all be in that. And if you click on this log out, or if you click on the oh, here, let me have this fill the screen here. Or if you click on here, you'll be kicked out of WebEOC. So you don't want to click on the log out, or in the right hand corner, this X, because it'll kick you right out of WebEOC. And then there is to get to the menu, you click on the 3 lines with the drop down arrow. And the very first board is the sign in and out board. So I want you to all click on board number 1, which is the sign in and out board. And then once you open that board up, then you click the sign in. All the fields will be pre-populated except the location. Because I'm working from home, I'm just going to put working from home.
You gotta put the turkey in.
But you can, so when you guys logged in, whatever information you put in as the phone number is going to show up here, and then your email address. And if you have to edit it, you can edit those fields. Now I'm going to change the time that I checked in because I started my day at 0600. So I'm going to go ahead and do that by clicking inside this box. The calendar will open up. And so I'm going to change the time that I started my day to 0600, because we do come to work to get paid. And I'm going to click on the date, and then that will change that time to 0600. And then I'm going to hit save. And this is what it should look like. So I should see more records in here. I see Sid is logged in.
Where do you get to that screen?
Go to the three drop
David's logged in.
down, sign in, sign out. There you go there. Sign yourself in.
So is that everybody?
One more.
I don't see Alan Christian.
Yeah, Patricia is Cermak.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. For some reason, Patricia's was not being able to log in with her data, so.
Is she in the wrong incident?
No, the login credentials you sent was not working for her, so we just had to log in as John Cermak just so we can get going.
Okay. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll end up, if somebody could send me an email and let me know that I need to resend the credentials, and I will go in there and double check that. Okay. So once you to sign out, so at the end of your shift you would sign out. To do that, you would click on this is called this three dots in the record is called an ellipses. So if you click on that, then you can sign out. But I don't want you guys to sign out, but I'm going to sign out just so I can show you what happens when you sign out. And then I'm going to hit a save. I could edit my time out, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And notice that my record is gone. The reason why, what happens when you sign out is it moves into the history view. So that's where my record is located, and it totals up the hours that I've worked. I work 10-hour days, so so far I've worked 8 hours and 30 minutes. And I'm going to go back to the current staffing. So you guys should all be in there. And then wanted to let you know that you also have a statewide view. If you go into the statewide view, then you will have access to everybody in the state. So, and the reason why these are red here is because these people did not check out the same day that they checked in. But they could go in there and click on this ellipses, and they have the opportunity to, if they go in there and sign out, I'm not going to save, but we could backdate that. We want to make sure that we click in here and change the date back to the 8th, and then whatever time that person ended their shift. Because we do come to work to get paid, and just so you know, if there is a proclamation, then you can get reimbursed for your time working in the EOC. And like for COVID, that's where we got a lot of our money back. So any questions about that? No?
Nope.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to the current staffing. And so in this view, you will only see your own records. In the statewide view, you're going to see everybody in the state because what you're sharing these boards with everybody in the state. So now I'm going to go to the next board, which is the activity log. And there's the local significant events, which is your significant events. And then there is the SEOC significant events, which is the State Emergency Operations Center significant events. And that is when we're all in the same incident. And you can see for situational awareness, you're able to see what's going on at the state level. And you do have the ability to publish to the SEOC significant events, which is the State Emergency Operations Center significant events, but it does go through a controller review process. And I'm not sure if Snohomish County wants the cities to be able to publish to that or not. So that would be a conversation to have with Snohomish County. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the activity log. And that is the activity log is your ICS 214. And what you're doing with that is you're recording everything that you're doing to respond to the incident. And so I'm going to click on create new, and then the record will open up. And in here you have a subject. I'm just going to say training because that's what I'm doing. And then the date and time is automatically stamped. And then for the event type, you want to select whatever you're doing to respond to the incident. So you'd find the closest thing that's in there. And that is a required field because there's a red asterisk next to that. So I'm just going to say log entry. And then there are 3 priorities: incident stabilization, property preservation, and life saving. And those are all color coded in the display after you've added those records. And in here, the description field, there is no limit on how many characters you put in that, but you don't want to write a book. You want to just keep things at a situation report level. That's the level that you want to keep things at. So I'm going to just put training because that's what I'm doing right now.
And then each person create an activity, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So pick like everybody can put in their own activity log, and let's say a levee broke and we have water gushing into the city or something. Figure out if that is what priority that is, how you would write it up. Just make something up. In fact, if you want to, chief, if you want to put down, active shooter or some kind of something happened that you want to consider a high priority from a life safety or a property preservation thing, just to get used to filling out these fields. And then when everybody gets it in and we go to the activity log, you'll see all the different log entries and the different color codes.
There is a dashboard and it feeds into the dashboard. So all that information, you'll see the different priorities, and you'll see the a dashboard that will tell you the different event types. And then you can put in a location name. I'm just going to put Camp Murray because I work at Camp Murray. Have any of you been to Camp Murray and visited the State Emergency Operations Center? If you ever get a chance, I can set up a tour for you guys for the Alert and Warning Center. That is your 911. And then I'm going to put in a location address, but I'm going to change this from a mailing address to a physical address.
Click down there, to that one there, and then go to activity log 6. And then create new.
That's where we put it.
You end up with a legitimate address, you'll end up with these two little green circular things. This little symbol. So go ahead and put in the address for your EOC.
It's 8117 267th Street Northwest. 8117 267th Street. That's the location of our EOC.
And you can attach two attachments per record. I do recommend that you turn Word, Excel, and PowerPoints into a PDF before you attach them. There's two reasons for that. The first reason is they're harder to edit. Now, I'm a graphic designer. I have the software. I can edit anything, but most people don't have that software. The other reason why you want to do that is because Word, Excel, and PowerPoint has different versions. And if people don't have the same version that you do, they may not be able to open up your documents. To do that, you would click on Browse. And it's going to take you, we have OneDrive because we have Office 365. So, but I'm not going to attach anything. I'm just going to cancel out of that. But if you guys want to attach something, you can. And then I'm going to check the box to post it to the local significant events. And that record will remain in the activity log. And then additionally, it will show up in the significant events. So it will, and the reason why we have it set up that way is so that you don't have to do double entry. We're trying to make the system work for you instead of you working for it. And the last thing you do is you'd hit save. So I see that there's some records in here. It automatically stamps your position and your name. And that's in it. Date and time stamps it. So I see there's some multiple records in here. That's great. Good job, you guys. Somebody put in life-saving. That's good. We've got some different types, and they're all different. Notice that they are all different colors. And then I'm not sure if all of you guys posted to the significant events or not, so we'll take a look. So now we're going to go to the local significant events, which is board number 3A. And the reason why this skips some boards is because there's some boards that you guys don't have access to that we do at the state. And the naming convention is the same for everybody. So, so we're going to go to the local significant events, and I see that there's some different, some of you posted to the significant events. And just so you know, even though you have access to everybody, you're sharing these boards with everybody in the state, it is filtered to where you will only see your own records in those views. And then now if I go into the State Emergency Operations Center dashboard or board, then you will see that that you guys can look and see what's going on at the state level, as long as we're in that same incident, because these boards are all tied to incidents. And so you can think of an incident as a container. Everything you put into an incident will stay contained within it. So it's very organized. And then there's a dashboard that goes with the significant events. So if you click on the dashboard, then you will see what is life-saving, what is property preservation, and what is incident stabilization. And then you'll see the different event types in this wheel. So there's 4 records that are in here right now. I use log entry, so it's white. And then there's the different event types. So do you guys have any questions about the activity log and the significant events? And anything that is wide impacting or information that should be shared is what you want to post to the significant events. And just so you know, that also has a local statewide significant events display for the. So any questions about those boards so far? I'm not hearing any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next board, which is the shared document. Or before we get into that, I'm going to go into the resource tracker, because you guys have access to the resource tracker and you can track resources at the city level. And then once you've gone beyond, if you need assistance, then you can push it to the county. You cannot push it directly to the State Emergency Operations Center. The county has that ability, but you guys would post it to, so if you create a request, so you're going to put Stanwood in there.
Did you already see where it says to create?
Yeah, did you see where I did that?
No.
To create a
It's
new request? Yeah.
If you go into we're talking about board number 4, which is the resource tracker. And just so you know, we're going to be introducing a new resource tracker board in November. And so there's going to be a lot of training that will be offered up for that. So you guys will end up getting invited to that training, because it's a new board. So in here, you can select the county. So if you hit an S, you're going to get close to Snohomish County. And then you can select the city from there. And then you probably don't have tracking numbers. Do you guys have your own tracking number system?
No.
Okay, then what you could do there is put Stanwood, because that is a required, excuse me, sorry, wrong box. Stanwood. And then you could copy our tracking number, which is made up of the year, the month, the date, and then milliseconds. It's not supposed to repeat itself. But believe it or not, during the COVID incident, people were able to duplicate those record numbers. But so now you've got a tracking number, because that is a required field. And then you put in the requester's name and phone number and email. And then whatever resource you're requesting, maybe it's a generator, or you know, and if it is an item that has to be returned, because you don't get to keep that item, you're just going to be borrowing it. So let's just say you guys needed a generator. And then what we really want to know is, what is the capability that you're trying to accomplish? Because that is the most important part, because we might be able to assist you with getting resources, or Snohomish County would be able to assist you with getting a resource request. It might be able to be fulfilled with many different things. So then you would, this is the delivery information. So you fill that information out. And for tangible items, for non-perishable items, you need to make sure you have a point of contact and point of contact phone number and email address, because it will end up having to get returned when you're done with it. And then we want to know a date and time that you need it. But you don't want to put as soon as possible, because everybody wants everything as soon as possible. And that's going to tell you that right here. So we really want a date and time, and then we need to know how long do you need it. You know, maybe it's 2 days, 3 days, whatever that is. And then is delivery needed? You'd check that box, and then you'd put in the shipping address. And then you have to answer these 4 questions. Have all local resources been exhausted? Has mutual aid been exhausted? Have all commercial resources been exhausted? And is the originating jurisdiction agency willing to pay for the assistance? And even if you say no to any of those, it does not mean that Snohomish County will not help coordinate that resource request. Any questions about that?
Is there a priority drop down box?
Well, there is, but right here, and it's this. Oh, oops.
I think it was further up.
Yeah.
Towards the beginning, when you start filling it out, I think there's a priority drop down box.
Yeah, and it's the same as the
Underneath the
same as
number
the
there.
in the activity log. Incident stabilization, property preservation, and life saving. The same fields. So any other questions? No? I'm not going to put anything in. I'm just going to go ahead and hit cancel. But if you guys wanted to put some stuff in there, go right ahead. I see somebody did put something in there. Coffee for this training incident.
So Debbie, is there a way now, so let's say our planning section chief put in for a payloader, because we need a bunch of payloaders to help secure a dike or something like that. How do they go back into it to check the status of it?
That's a good question. So the status is going to be up here, and these are the choices. Unassigned. So once you send it up to the county, so at a city level, you're going to need to push it to the county before they're going to start acting on it. And with Snohomish County, you're going to need to let them know that you put in a resource request, because they're not using WebEOC all the time, because they're using SharePoint, I guess. And why they made that decision, I don't know. But that's what they're doing. And that's why a lot of the cities in Snohomish County have come directly to me for accounts. So, but before you push it up to the county, you can go in and click on this update, and you're able to put in add resources and add actions. And the actions are everything that you're doing to respond to that resource request. So if you click on the add actions, then it just gives you a box here. So you could say, you know, that you called a vendor, or whatever you did to respond to that. And so you want to, and when you add actions, so let's just say I add an action on that particular one. If I hit save, then that is going to show up in here, and it's going to date and time. It's going to stamp my name on it and my position and the date and time that I made that entry. So all the actions will show up in here. So any other questions? And you probably, would this be something that your logistics would be doing?
Logistics are planning.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, then, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to move on to the next board. So, then we have the statewide shared documents board. And this is where you add all your attachments. And if you click on add attach a document, in here you can select what type of document you're attaching. So let's just say I'm attaching an incident action plan. And then you need to know where that file is located. So I'm going to open up my open up in here, and I created a folder. And if you name folders what they are, it makes it much easier to find. So I have a folder, and I called it incidents. And inside that, these are all the different incidents that we have. And I have an incident action plan in my COVID incident, so that's what I'm going to attach. And so this is all stuff that has to do with COVID. And then now I'm going to look for my incident action plan. So if you see a 14 before I do, got a lot of stuff in there. This is all real stuff. Looking for it. There it is. Incident action plan number 14. And then notice that it's called incident action plan number 14, approved. If you name things what they are, it makes it much easier, because in the display, it's going to show up, that name is going to show up. So if you name your files what they are, it makes it much easier for you. And then I'm going to put version 14 because that's what it is. And then I'm going to hit save. And it's going to take a couple minutes. And I know we're all impatient. There, oh, I'm going to do a disable refresh. And there's my item right here. And we know that it's version number 14. And notice that the name that I had that incident action plan called, it showed up right here. And then if I need to edit it, I can click on the ellipses. And so if I go and edit it, let's just say I attached the wrong thing, I could go in and change that. And if I delete it, it's not going to really be deleted. It's just going to move it to this other display. So we're in jurisdiction, and you also have the ability to view all, in there you're going to see everybody in the state, as long as they're in the same incident. And then, but I don't think there's anything in here that's deleted. Nope. So if I were to delete that, it would end up in this display. And so that keeps it all nice and neat. And then if I go to view all, you're going to see everybody in the state, as long as they're in that same incident. And these are all the different trainings that I've done, and I've been using that incident action plan for all those. So, so here you're going to see everybody in the state. So if we're all in a big fight together, then, and often I will create an incident and blast that out to everybody. Let me know who you want to be on the distribution list, so that, and maybe you should have a couple people be on the distribution list, so that I can make sure that you guys have, like, I'll create an incident and we'll tell everybody to use the same incident, like for weather, and that'll happen, monthly as we get into the weather. Any questions? I don't hear any questions. So the last main board is the after action review board. And that is this board here. And this is to do after action, for corrective action. And all you do is you click create new, and you can put in a priority on it. So let's just say it's medium. And then you can put in an improvement item or even something that should be sustained, something that worked really well. You'll want to put that in there, or something that needs to be improved. So you can put in an observation, and then what makes it even more, and if you hover over this little question mark, it'll give you a hint of what we're looking for there. And then if you have a recommendation, that even makes it more powerful. So you put in a recommendation in here. And then that's what makes it powerful. I'm gonna go ahead and hit cancel. I'm not going to put stuff in because there's already a bunch of stuff in here. And this is we're right now we're looking at, this is only for this particular incident, but we also have a all incidents view. So if you go into the all incidents, it's going to list out all the different incidents that the feedback has been put in there for. So it's really kind of nice. And all of the boards have this main ellipses here next to the search. If you click on that, you can get data out of WebEOC 3 different ways. You can either print the page, you can export it to a PDF, or you can export it to an Excel spreadsheet. So that's how you get data out of WebEOC. So let's just say you're going to export it to an Excel spreadsheet. Then what I do recommend is that you have it turned on where when you're doing attachments, that it'll give you access to your folders so that you can put it in a certain place. And then I do recommend that you call this what it is. So I would say name it after action review. So AAR. And then I would put in what the incident number is, which is the 22-T road trip. Name things what they are. It makes it much easier to find them. And then I want to store that in a certain place. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cancel that out of that. But I just wanted to show you how to do that. And then this opened up its own little window. You can also save it or when you print the page, you can add more settings, and then you can change the size of the paper, how many pages per sheet it is. You can set the margins and the quality of the print, and then how you want to scale it. And then if you want to print it 2-sided, you can check this print both sides. And then you can determine whether if you want the headers and footers to show up in the background graphics. So all of those settings will be available to you when you're printing. But if you're saving it as a PDF, you're not going to end up with all of that. There you'd say how many pages per sheet you want it to print, and go from there. Any questions about that? No?
We have a question?
Okay.
It seems like this after action, this incident report works if you have a short event, but if you have a really long event, how do you keep track of all of, those suggestions or actions? If there's
Well,
such an
for the COVID incident, it went on for over 2 years, so we have a lot. So you can print it or you can export it to an Excel. I would recommend exporting it to an Excel spreadsheet, because then you can. What's that?
I guess what I'm asking, you could do this daily if you needed to versus just one
Yes, you
time.
could. Yep, you could. And it's always kind of interesting to look at, because some people have good ideas and others not so good ideas. But it's kind of interesting to look at. So yeah, it's the per incident, an incident, everything stays contained within that incident. And then you've got that where you can view all incidents. So you have both those options. Any other questions? Okay. So, and then I just wanted to let you know that there is a SEOC dashboard, which is the State Emergency Operations Center dashboard. And so what this is kind of a high-level view. There is a EOC activation status board. That's what this is. And you guys will be able to, do you guys have an EOC?
That's where we're in right now, yep.
Okay. So you'll be able to go in there and if as long as you put in a physical address, it will map it on this map. So like here is King County, and then here's Thurston County, and then we're bringing in 2 different layers in this view, and then it also has where it will turn the whole county, has a shapefile. And then there's actually Yakima too. And then there is, and it will map it. And then there's a general message which is kept up by the State Emergency Operations Center supervisor. And then you can see our significant events, and this is for all incidents. We've got a few in there. And then we have a lifelines board, which that's a FEMA thing. Everything's green right now, and then it'll list out all of the active incidents. And then this is from the new resource tracker, which we're going to be introducing in November. Any questions about that?
This is all real-time active stuff, right?
Yep. It's board data that's feeding that. And then
The mayor has a question, Debbie.
Debbie, when is the new software coming out, the updated software?
Are you talking about the new resource tracker?
Yeah, you said in November. I mean, this is
November. I don't have an exact date. We've got some issues with because we have some partners that have their own WebEOC. King County, Thurston County, Pierce County, and City of Seattle. They're getting data from us through a device called WebFusion. And they're there's a little issue with King County not being able to see, there's a drop-down list for the cities, and then it has a secondary drop-down list. That secondary drop-down list is not coming through. So it won't be until after we get that resolved. We've got a ticket open with the vendor, which is Javari. So once we get that resolved, then we'll do the rollout. But there's going to be a lot of training that we'll be offering.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question, but not about this board, but just to clarify with Doug, we'll use if we have an incident, we'll activate WebEOC, and the mayor might say, stay remote or come here or whatever, but we'll use this.
Correct.
And we'll make resource requests through this, and the county will monitor this.
Yeah, and I'll be in touch with the county. The county does two things. It'll monitor any agency that's using WebEOC in their county, and then when they communicate resource requests to the state, they have to use WebEOC to do it. So I'll be keeping them informed. Hey, we got an incident here, monitor our incident, type of thing in the county. And then, Debbie, I would call you to get an incident number if it's just Stanwood specific.
Well, actually, you get the incident numbers from the Alert and Warning Center, and I didn't show you that, but I'm going to close this out real quick here. If I close all tabs, then the Alert and Warning Center's phone number is right here. They're the ones that can get you the incident numbers. But I would have to create your incident.
Us calling DEM, and then the DEM duty officer calls state duty officer, and they assign a number right then and there. They'll ask for it.
Yep.
What's the incident type, location for an address, bare bones information to get us, and then they'll put us the very next one that comes up in their roster of all the incidents happening in state. We would be the next one to sign that number, and that's the number we have.
So
Yep.
with the windstorm, was there an incident?
Good question, Debbie. Did an incident number get reported or get created for this latest windstorm from last Friday?
Well, we didn't have an incident in WebEOC, but I think that there was an incident number. Yeah, the Alert and Warning Center had it. But typically, like for weather, I'll usually create a incident and blast it out to everybody on the distribution list and tell them to use that incident.
Yeah, because sometimes there's big wind events that maybe only affect 3 counties in the state, or a snow event that is not affecting the entire state, just counties in the state, and drill it down to specific cities. But just a matter of us getting hold of DEM, that they're kind of our resource to get us the state number. They owe it to us then to call the duty officer and get back to us when we call them.
Mm-hmm. So, what's that?
Got 10 minutes. Anything else you want to cover real quick?
Yeah. I wanted to, we have menus down here. So like there is the health and medical, which I'm not going to get into because I don't think they're using it right now. But then there's infrastructure, and that is where we have a damage assessment board, distribution sites, facilities, road closures, and shelters. I believe the cities are not keeping up the road closures and shelters, but the counties are. But you have access to see them, to see that data. And then there is a situational awareness board, which the state emergent EOC activation status board is in there. And I need to give you guys the ability to write to it. So I will make that happen, and I'll send you an email when that's done so that you'll be able to write to it. So if you need to open, what's that?
If we're working a flooding event and we want to log some street closures, Can you show us how to do that?
Yep.
Because this is something we could do that would help keep the county with good essay of what's happening in Stanwood. And that would
So,
be-
I need to give you guys the ability to write to it.
Okay,
Right. I didn't know you guys would be writing to the road closures board. But if you need to,
it'd be
if you need to
easier
have
than-
access,
yeah, normally the county would do it, but like if the county does not stand up their EOC, then it's kind of up to us to then keep everybody apprised of our road closures.
okay.
We do
I'll
that for
make
that
I'll
ability.
make that happen.
Okay.
So can somebody send me an email and remind me to give you
I'll do
guys
that.
the ability
And I'll
to
get you
write to it?
specific individuals that the Public Works Director wants to have the ability to do that.
It's actually at the position level, so the permissions come in at the position level. So you guys would all be able to write to it, but hopefully somebody's not going to write to it that shouldn't.
And the big thing is keeping up to it so that when the road's back open again, you go in and say, no, it's open. So.
You're right. You need to go in and if you open up a road, you need to. It's your responsibility to go close it. Because in here, in this, to open up a road, you have to put in put contact information in there. So I wanted to show you the Weblinks board. This Weblinks board is a reason to log into WebEOC every day, and this is not tied to any incidents. So this board has links to websites and dashboards that we consider authoritative by category. And under operational tools is the Washington Information Sharing Environment, which has the State Emergency Operations Center dashboard in there. And this dashboard was modeled after the Arizona dashboard, which won several awards. Very first tab is flood. And I noticed that Rick is our GIS guy. He took out the fires, but I will show you another, the NOAA weather dashboard after this.
How did you get here to this dashboard?
So what I did was I went into the, okay, I'm going to go back to here, and then if you go to the, under the situational awareness dashboard, open that up. What we did was we organized these into menus so that to kind of clean up our board lists.
Oh, here.
And it's this board right here, the Weblinks board.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then under operational tools is the Washington Information Sharing Environment. And that first dashboard is the State Emergency Operations Center dashboard. And the first one is flood. Then there's weather. And then I'm not going to click on all these. There's safer flood and hazards viewer, air quality, earthquake, which I'm always surprised at how many earthquakes are going on in our state. And if you click on any of these, so there aren't any in there is one by Snohomish County. It will give you the magnitude and the depth and all that detailed information. So you can just click on the little circle and it will give you that information. And then there is limited English proficiency, which is who we need to alert and warn. If there's 10% of languages in our, and that's based on the Census Bureau, is where that data came from. We have to alert and warn those. I really feel sorry for King County because they have a ton. So King County has to alert and warn all of these languages. It's a lot. Snohomish County is not so bad, but they still have quite a few too. So we have to alert and warn all these different So when we do the alerts, we need to warn those languages. And then there is tsunami, but I don't think there's anything in there. There's energy, which will track right down to the meter. So if we click on any of these, I don't see any in Snohomish County. But if I click on any of these, it will tell you how many meters are affected. So this one has just 1 meter affected, and so it's showing up on there. And then there is WASDOT real-time traffic. And this is kept up by Department of Transportation. And I think the closest one is maybe right here. So if you click on it, it will give you the details. It was there. Click on another one. There it is. US 2, both directions. And then there is the one-stop shop traffic, which is a crazy map. And this isn't even all of WASDOT's cameras. It's just the ones that they share. They don't share all their cameras. So you can see what's going on with the roads before you get out there. It's kind of a useful tool, especially if you're going over the pass. And I did see some snow earlier today. Not seeing any now. Oh, with that snow. So, and then to get back to the Weblinks board, you go back, you look for the Javari logo, which is this red icon. That will take you back to the Weblinks board. And then there's one other dashboard, which is the NOAA weather dashboard, which is the Northwest weather. And they have the Storm Safer is the very first tab. And I don't know why it's doing the sign-in thing. I gotta talk to NOAA. The best way to use this is to zoom into Washington State. This looks like we've got some weather coming in, but it's not here yet. And then there's Tropic Safer, flood, wildfire, which has the, if you click on any of these fires, it will give you the, how many acres. I don't know why it's doing this password thing. It'll tell you how many acres are involved. I believe that is the bolt fire. So any questions about the about WebEOC?
So you get to play with it more, Debbie, and then we'll probably have more questions later. But thank you for your time and giving us the intro to it.
You bet. And remember, I recorded this, so you guys will be getting the recording for it.
Okay, great.
So if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to let you guys go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Take care. Have a great day. Or rest of the day.
Enjoy your weekend.
You too.